now, the Sweet 16 is comprised of a 5-seed Clemson and 2 1 seeds, Connecticut out of the East, UNLV out of the West. Next up, the 1 seed from the Midwest, Oklahoma against North Carolina, Mike.
Watch for Carolina to handle Oklahoma's pressure. If they can do that, they can stay in the game with their baseline.
All right, Carolina is the 8th seed. We're going to take you to Austin. Brent and Billy will call the action as we continue on the road to the Final Four.
CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies. Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers, the best hamburgers, and a whole lot more. And by today's Chevrolet, who invites you to see why nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Time was when everyone knew what a full-size car was. But times change, and people change. And through time, cars change. The time has come for a longer, roomier Caprice. The next generation of the best-selling full-size car of all time. The 1991 Chevrolet Caprice. Prepare to be impressed.
When I was a boy, we only ate chicken on Sunday. Now people want to eat chicken every day. So Wendy's has a lot of different chicken sandwiches. Our whole breast chicken filet, our chicken club with bacon, and our chicken parmesan with rich tomato sauce and mozzarella. That's that Italian cheese. My daughter Wendy said, "Dad, chickens are happening." Chickens are happening. Kids.
Come into Wendy's. We've got the best chicken sandwiches in the business.
What's it take to win in college basketball? What's it take to win in 7-Up's college basketball championship game? That hard work could win you a limited edition Ford Mustang or a chance at prizes worth $20 million. So start practicing. 1 in 12 are winners.
What line of work in?
Water resource management.
You like irrigation?
You could say that, yes.
Hasn't rained here in 18 months.
We shall see.
We've been coming down in buckets all night long.
Yes, indeed. That's good.
In today's high-tech business world,
Nice morning, huh?
those with the most mobility find success rains down upon them.
How's he gonna make the rain, Mom?
Come fly the friendly skies.
We're going to climb a little higher, folks. See if we can get above these rain clouds.
Life's full of simple pleasures, like the comfort of Levi's jeans. Or had you forgotten?
Welcome, everybody, to the Frank Irwin Center in Austin, Texas. We have a second-round game for the Midwest region off to a blazing start between the Tar Heels of North Carolina and the #1 ranked team in the country. And North Carolina, with its precision offense, jumps ahead of the Sooners 8-5. They have hit all 4 of their shots for the field, the Tar Heels. And King Rice, their guard, has led the way with 2 layups from the left side. This is Scott Williams for North Carolina. That's their first miss from the field. I'm Brent Musburger with Billy Packer. Welcome. You're looking at the Dean Smith. And Billy, he has to be pleased in the early going.
It's been feast or famine in these type of games for Dean Smith this year. Iowa blew the North Carolina Tar Heels out in a fast-paced game, but then they come back against a club like Duke and play very well. So far today, they're handling Oklahoma extremely well.
Rick Fox sends it to Pete Chilcutt.
First time Oklahoma in the zone on the out-of-bounds.
Williams misses again, and Oklahoma down with the rebound. Skeeter Henry with 1 field goal. It was a 3 for the Sooners. Jones with their other one at deuce. and it's 8-5. Here's Jones again, a great JC player out of the Detroit area, and they send it back to McCovery. Davis alone underneath, and it's knocked away alertly by Rice. Oklahoma ball. So in Austin, this is the first of two. The winners advance on to the Sweet 16 in their region, which will be held in Dallas, Texas. The winner here will play the winner of our second game today, Dayton against Arkansas. So a very talented division. North Carolina seeded 8th. And you have to believe that they were the lowest seeded number 18 because the Sooners came into the tournament number 1 overall. North Carolina ball lost on the handle and out of bounds, Oklahoma.
And as you can see, North Carolina not afraid to get in an up-tempo game and take the break whenever it's available. Early on, they hit Chilcutt. Both teams can go to their bench. Oklahoma gets more offensive production, however, when they go to theirs.
Billy Tubbs, his 10th year with the Sooners. Very talented cast. He's done a superb job of coaching, having lost several of his stars. Smokey McCovery with a miss there. Tapped back and out of bounds, and it goes over to the Tar Heels. Shooting will be a key in this game, and Carolina, which normally hits over 50, this could be their first year in a long time when they don't hit that margin. They're at 49.9, and they're off to an excellent start today. McCovery fouling Rice. Billy, the folks back in North Carolina, they have read and they have heard so much criticism of King Rice, but in talking to the Tar Heel staff, they think that their most improved player right now is the young guard, and he certainly will be the focus here today.
An awful lot of attention given to King Rice. He's required to do a lot on this club because it's not a very good perimeter team. Good steal.
Freshman Lynch losing it. Henry, and then Lynch comes back on him, and he fouls Henry.
Well, Brent, you and I saw Lynch early on when North Carolina played Georgetown. He is a young warrior. Doesn't mind going in there and mixing it up. Excellent athletic skills and has a fine year as a freshman.
So the star of the Sooners will step to the line, and Billy Tubbs will go to his bench, sending in Terry Evans, the 6'1 freshman who averages better than 9 points a game. But here is Skeeter Henry, 6'7", the senior out of Grand Prairie, Texas. And there are an awful lot of Texans here in Austin who are having a very difficult time cheering for the Sooners down here. In fact, it's amazing how many Tar Heel fans we have found deep in the heart of Texas today.
Well, wait until Arkansas walks into this arena.
Long pass, and Fox breaks free.
See, this is what North Carolina is doing. Because they know that Oklahoma is trying to push up on the defensive pressure full court, they're going long on them. Good move.
A very positive start by the Tar Heels. 10-7, extremely well coached. They went for an extra long session yesterday, and Coach Tubbs and the Sooners will have their hands full here this afternoon.
Not long ago, Toyota and Honda were the last word in the world of sporty imports. But that was just the calm before the storm. Introducing the all-new Storm GSI, the 16-valve performance force from Geo.
Getting to know you.
See your Chevrolet Geo dealer and get to know Geo Storm.
Fits a little better than your ordinary athletic shoe.
Meet a hardcore woman living a hardcore life in a hardcore town.
Deep down inside, I'm just a hunk of mush like everybody else.
Valerie Bertinelli is Sydney.
Wait, where are you going? Premieres Wednesday.
Wednesday.
This is what North Carolina is doing. Because they know that Oklahoma's trying to push up on the defensive pressure full court, they're going long on them. Good move.
A very positive start by the Tar Heels.
Good move.
Billy Tubbs, his 10th year with the Sooners. The winner here will play the winner of our second game today, Dayton against Arkansas. So a very talented division. North Carolina, which normally hits over 50, this could be their first year in a long time when they don't hit that margin. They're at 49.9, and they're off to an excellent start today. McCovery fouling Rice. Billy, the folks back in North Carolina, they have read and they have heard so much criticism of King Rice, but in talking to the Tar Heel staff, they think that their most improved player right now is the young guard, and he certainly will be the focus here today.
So North Carolina fans can take heart in the fact that the ACC has not lost in this tournament yet. Clemson advancing on to the Sweet 16. They'll have their hands full down in New Jersey. UConn, the darlings of the tri-state area. And out west, UNLV moves along to the West region in Oakland. Connecticut wins the Big East in Madison Square Garden. Then they go up the Turnpike to Hartford, and they win their first 2 rounds. Now they'll go to the New Jersey Meadowlands and see if they can make it to the Final Four. And here, North Carolina Phillies putting on a clinic.
So what you're seeing is an awful lot of backdoor cuts. Now, if you ever scout a North Carolina team, you know that they run the backdoor as well as anybody in the country on those overplays. Oklahoma's going to have to get some weak side help.
Oklahoma pounds it on the inside. And William Davis, their 6'6" senior center, with his first field goal, makes it 11-9.
Big substitution is going to come when Dean Smith has to take King Rice out of the game. Where does his primary ball handler come from?
Lynch out on top, taking the pass from Rice. And now they move it, drop it inside beautifully on the penetration. Lynch's shot is rejected by Jones. Carolina gets a second attempt.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see Oklahoma go a little zone if there's any more of those backdoor cuts.
Here's Rodel, who checked in during that timeout, chipping the baseline, and Jones alertly knocks it out of bounds. Here's that backdoor cut, Billy.
Here's what we're talking about. Good pass, overplay by the forward. You can see Patterson completely out of position. Excellent layup on the inside by Madden. And there's Kevin Madden scoring again. Madden was projected to be an all-ACC first-team performer this year. He has not been that, averaging under 10 points a game, but he does have good ability inside.
Patterson's basket counts, making it 14-11. Fouled on the play, and Damon Patterson will step to the free throw line for the Sooners.
Runner-up for Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan. How many kids from the greater Detroit area have we seen so far in this tournament? I was talking to Jackie Jones before the game. I said, you fellas ought to put together a summer all-star game, bring everybody back. I mean, it'd be something to see.
Completes the three-point play, making it a 2-point Tar Heel lead. And Ball State jumps ahead of Louisville, the Battle of the Cardinals out in Salt Lake City.
Good dribbling.
Crowd behind the Oklahoma sideline wanted a turnover on that play. They thought he picked it up and traveled. And Henry commits the personal foul. Billy, tell us about this young man from Germany, Henrik Rodel.
He did some prepping at Chapel Hill in high school, then went back to Germany and, of course, was recruited by Dean Smith. He has come on late in the season, shows the ability to shoot from the outside, learning the defensive structure as well. And there's that athleticism by Oklahoma's Davis.
Coming down with a shot. Knocked out of bounds by Carolina. It'll be Oklahoma ball. Oklahoma a higher seed, so they'll wear the white jerseys, and that's the case with all the tournament games, of course. You see Coach Tubbs over there in front of the Oklahoma bench.
Brent, what makes Oklahoma so tough in this press? That with the exception of Evans out there right now, all the other 4 players are interchangeable in the press. So no matter who they guard, they can handle it.
He stepped over the line and turned it over. North Carolina ball.
Are you watching the press? No matter who picks up who, they can go out and guard a guy on the perimeter, much like UNLV does. They mirror each other very much in their defensive principle. Really attack that ball. There's another backdoor cut. No passing angle for Madden.
Fox, a strong offensive player, had that one shot back. He has not yet gotten his game on track. He'll move it outside and drop one in for 3 points for North Carolina. 17-12. They build a 5-point lead here in the first half.
With Fox, although a forward, is their leading 3-point shooter.
Jones with the jumper. Madden rebounding, just where Carolina wants to be in this game, out on top. Make Oklahoma play catch-up if they can. The Sooners extremely talented, as everyone knows. Williams puts it down. Beautiful move by Scott Williams on the inside, and if Carolina continues to pound inside, they're going to make it tough. Patterson coming to baseline, commits an offensive foul.
Brent, what we're seeing right now is Oklahoma players are going one-on-one against a Carolina defense that plays very well from the weak side. Carolina, on the other hand, is getting total team movement, 5 fellas getting involved in the offense, and that's working much better for them.
Hubert Davis checks in on this dead ball situation for North Carolina. He's a 6'4" sophomore, and Tubbs will have to be concerned about the changeup this gives the Carolina attack. The average is almost 10 points a game coming off Coach Smith's bench.
Pretty good shooter, but we still see King Rice has been in this game the whole time. There's no way you play 40 minutes against Oklahoma. And I'll be anxious to see what happens when he comes out of there.
Rice on a beautiful penetrating move, could not drop the layup.
Oh.
And then Lynch underneath comes up with it. And the foul called underneath on Oklahoma.
George Lynch is one of the most fierce rebounders I've seen come into college ball. 6'7", and he has a nose for it. And as I said, going back to the first time I ever saw him playing the collegiate level against Georgetown, he wasn't afraid to go in there with Alonzo Mourning and Mutombo and get his hands on a lot of balls.
Billy, that's his second personal committed by Patterson of the Sooners as the freshman comes to the line.
Well, one of the things Billy Tubbs never has to worry about, and that is going to his bench with fellows that can come off and score and perform in his offense. Because of the bulk that North Carolina has in there, I don't think it's going to be too long before we're going to see a substitution by the name of Tony Martin come in and start using his body.
7 straight points by the Tar Heels. They lead it 21-12. Jones double team. And rebound by Lynch again. On 2, Rice with a beautiful pass to Williams, and what a great defensive play. Jones comes back. Lead man Davis.
And there was a case where Davis had to pull back and help out because Rice had made the penetration. No floor balance.
And across the way, Billy, we see Tony Martin up, and indeed he will be checking into this game. Just as you predicted, Fox off the screen, hits the 3, and Fox has nailed 2 threes, moves his game to the outside here in the first half. Jones answers with 1 for the Sooners, and here we go.
One of the things North Carolina does is get back very well on defense, but you know when they go back on defense, they settle in the paint. Oklahoma pushes the ball down the sidelines, and they'll take the 3. Very difficult to get back in transition against them.
This game demonstrates the depth of college basketball. When an Oklahoma and a North Carolina can come together in a second-round game, as they are here this afternoon, so many more teams are not qualified to move on to the Sweet 16. And it's Williams on the outside, rims out, Patterson down for the Sooners, and now it's McCovery.
Scooter Henry setting up over here for a 3.
He's got it. Bingo.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Brent. You settle down in the paint defensively. Scooter was sitting himself over in that corner waiting for the ball to be rotated. Skeeter, excuse me. I got the Scooter and the Skeeter together.
Easy to do, I might add. Jones jumps out on Williams. Oh, Jones fouls Fox, and he fires the shot as he draws the foul, and Tim Higgins, the lead referee, says no shot. The foul goes against Jones. Tim Higgins, who has worked games in the Big East, also the Atlantic 10, working this game with Joe Mingle and also Nate Humphrey. And of course, we've got a timeout here in Austin, and we'll be right back. 24-20, North Carolina.
To us at UPS, this is a custom car. Why, this beauty's been modified dozens of times. It has a fiberglass fuel-efficient front, a rapid opening foam-filled door, and a sunroof, all of which makes us more efficient, so we can deliver next-day air for up to half what other companies charge, and allow our drivers to be seen in one mean set of wheels. UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
It's Tuesday afternoon in Ford County.
Darndest thing about life here in Ford County. You'd think with a name like Ford County, people would prefer Ford trucks. Au contraire. People from Ford prefer Chevy trucks.
Always said we were on the cutting edge.
Isn't that the darndest thing?
Could it be we're the bellwether of major societal shifts?
It's mind-boggling. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America. Today's truck is Chevrolet.
Listen.
Listen up. McDonald's fries surprise is so easy to play, a rutabaga could figure it out. Buy a large or a medium fries or a hash brown, then peel off the sticker. You win every time. Like a Big Mac for 69 cents. $10,000 or fly anywhere in the world Delta Airlines goes. Ooh, if that's not terrific, I'm not a member of the Tuber family. So play McDonald's fries surprise today. It's the game with appeal. Appeal? I love potato humor.
The Frank Irwin Center, the University of Texas. And how about those Longhorns as they advance on up at Indianapolis? And tomorrow they'll be taking on Purdue of the Big Ten. Here it's North Carolina and Oklahoma. They're all in the same region, and the survivors here in Austin and in Indianapolis will move on to Dallas, Texas. Dallas about a 3-hour drive from Austin, and Houston is about a 1.5 to 2-hour drive. Billy?
Brent, you can see Billy Tubbs did go to the zone. This is something that gives North Carolina a lot of trouble. Takes them out of that very intricate total movement half-court offense they have, and they're not a good perimeter shooting team.
Henry misses that three. She'll cut off. He's got Fox, and he just threw it too hard.
Brent, I'll point out something else. When you look up at the clock, we're at the 10-minute mark, roughly. This looks like it's a 100-point game. Billy Tubbs is 94-0 when his clubs score 100.
And Ball State ambushing Louisville out in Salt Lake.
North Carolina staying in a real good overplay man-to-man.
Martin was all alone. Knocked that jumper down to make it a 2-point game.
They stay in their matchup zone now. Fox, the best shooter by far out on the floor right now from the perimeter, and he's going to take it.
That's his third three-pointer of the first half.
Right, and if you're Oklahoma, you got to match up over there with Fox. He's the fella more than likely going to take it.
Commits a silly foul, reaching in on Henry. He knew it. Rick Fox is a marvelous story. He was born in Montreal, raised in the Bahamas, and in 1982, when CBS televised that classic between Georgetown and North Carolina and New Orleans, he was watching with a group of folks in a hotel lobby, and it was that night when he decided that he'd love to follow in the tradition of the Tar Heels. Attended high school up at Indiana. Bob Knight made a run at him when he was a senior, but it was too late. He was headed to Chapel Hill, and he's never regretted it. Now Williams on the inside, who never committed a foul in his life, just picks up number 1 here.
Scott this year only fouled out of 4 games. Fox leads on their club. He fouled out 7 times in ball games. Another thing about Rick Fox, you talk about the good bloodlines, his mom was an Olympic performer in the high jump. So, you know, he couldn't fail. And didn't get an opportunity to play that senior year up in Indiana in high school.
I love the one description of this game this morning in the Austin newspaper. The writer summed it up. Number 1 in the rankings, being Oklahoma, meets number 1 in reputation, meaning North Carolina. What fabulous record Dean Smith has had with the Tar Heels through the years.
Well, prior to this year, Dean Smith's club, since it's gone to the 64-team field, has never been seated lower than 3rd. So he has had some tradition there.
This is McCovery looking on the inside, and they're trying to take it away from Jones. So Martin missing, and now Chilcutt with another rebound, and it's 27-22. 9 minutes left in the first half.
And North Carolina in that zone will have to extend it a little bit because every player on the floor right now for Oklahoma can shoot the 3 and shoot it well.
Fox has killed them here in the first half, Billy. He just made the pass. 4 of 4 on the inside, and on the throw into Chilcutt, he's fouled by the big man, Tony Martin.
A maneuver that North Carolina loves to use against the zone, and that is to rotate the ball and then throw back to the weak side for the dunk. That time, Martin's quickness was able to stay with Chilcutt.
Neither team yet over the limit. Chilcutt in the act of shooting comes up, and he'll have a pair of free throws, and Fox will sit down. One of the things, of course, that basketball fans are certainly aware is the way that Dean Smith, through the years, has utilized his bench. Probably as much as any coach in basketball. Not so much for one game, but he always looks down the road. He always likes to give sophomores and juniors some playing time. So when that next season comes and he loses the J.R. Reeds and the Michael Jordans, you've got players ready to slip in there and make another drive toward the Sweet 16.
But before this year, he went 23 years with never having more than 10 losses. So it's been a program there for a long, long time.
Lynch with a great talent at saving that ball over the end line. And there's a foul, and it's going to go. Let's see now. That was not a personal foul call. It was off his foot, was the signal by the referee. Off the foot, and it will go over to North Carolina out of bounds. No personal.
Good job by Chilcutt just to catch that pass because it was fired about a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. You can see the zone. 1-2-2, kind of matching up out front. North Carolina almost has to get something going inside here because they don't have a jump shooter. Roto will try.
Confidence in his shooting ability. Certainly, that's the weakest part of his game. But he's done a superb job here in the first half of this game.
Well, what the Oklahoma zone does do, it hurts North Carolina's perimeter game, but it also takes out the frenzied activity that they create with their defense.
Off Chilcutt's hands on the pass in, and it goes to the Sooners. And this is the thing that Carolina must do, according to Coach Smith. Protect the ball in the half court. He doesn't mind a turnover in a full court scramble, but boy, he hates to see that happen there.
Well, Billy Tubbs a little upset right there in the fact that Rick Fox is able to get in the game when Tubbs' club had the ball in their possession.
Well, we've got a timeout. Tubbs is still bellowing at the ref. We'll come right back.
In country music, there's a lot of songs about drinking and a lot of songs about driving. And there's not a thing wrong with singing them both in the same show. But if you've been drinking, don't take your show on the road. Please don't drink and drive.
A reminder from George Strait and Bud Light.
It's Wednesday morning in Ford County.
Hey, Dad, is it really true that full-size Chevy pickups have more two-sided galvanized steel than Ford?
That's right, son. The electrolytic deposition of zinc on steel protects it from chemical oxidation.
But I mean, if it helps stop rust, how come a big company like Ford doesn't use as much as Chevy?
I don't know, son. I just don't know.
Rust protection. No wonder people from Ford prefer Chevy trucks. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Express mail from your post office offers you 46,000 drop-off points.
We deliver.
A guaranteed morning delivery.
We deliver.
And an overnight price of just $8.75.
We deliver.
Speed, convenience, price. It's a package only we can deliver. Express mail from your postal service.
We deliver for you.
Sunday isn't always a day of rest. Tomorrow, catch a triple-header thriller as second-round excitement continues. It's March Madness Mania.
Welcome back to Austin. And there, the wife and daughter of Coach Billy Tubbs. Pat, his wife, and Taylor, who for several years was a cheerleader with the Oklahoma Sooners. Watching his son, Tommy, is here. And yesterday morning, Billy was out jogging with Taylor out around this lovely town. If you've never been in Austin, Texas, one of the underrated towns in America, it is just beautiful. Great shot by Skeeter Henry there for the baseline.
Ben, North Carolina trying to go to their half-court trap. Very difficult with the quickness that Oklahoma has and how far they can extend on the weak side their jump shooters. Tough to run a trap against them. You can see Billy Tubbs said, okay, I've shown you all the man-to-man you're going to get to see to work those back picks. Now you're going to have to show me you can shoot from the outside against the zone. This will be tough for North Carolina.
Davis. Fox attacking it along with Chilcutt and Lynch. Chilcutt hits the first shot against it.
And they go inside. It's the best team they can have on the floor, though, for jump shooting because Davis and Fox can hit it.
And Martin comes right back for the Sooners. Martin is out there with Patterson and Jones, McCovery, and Henry. And the Sooners now trying to put together a run, and they'll have to ignite it here at the defensive end.
Good idea by Chilcutt, jumping up, looking for the pass while he's in the air.
Great respect for Fox.
Great defense that time by Henry.
Foul against Fox. That's his second personal. He has scored 11 points here in the first half.
Brent, Skeeter Henry at 6'7" is so quick, anticipates so well, that that jump shot that you would normally get off if you were Hubert Davis just wasn't there. Kind of like Connecticut, the way they swarm you when you go cross court.
And Billy, he scored 10 points in the first half. He passed into Martin, and Martin hit it off North Carolina players while he got out of bounds.
Well, an all Big 8 performer. He's had a great senior year. Last year, primarily a role player. You got to remember, this team lost 2 first-round draft choices off their squad last year, and they're back at a #1 position. Most teams would have to rebuild after losing players like Mookie Blaylock and Stacey King.
Billy Tubbs, of course, does that by going the JC route. He went that way himself, and he has great respect for those athletes. McCovery missing, and Lynch pulls down the rebound for the Tar Heels.
Excellent timing by Lynch, because that ball hit the top of the board, and he still kept on the floor.
Fox finally missed from three-point range here this afternoon.
Martin really putting a body on Williams on the inside. And again, I want to point out that by going zone, Billy Tubbs changed the course of this game in terms of the tempo. So although it's working for him in a half-court situation, it takes away his ability to get in a running game.
Out of bounds, bad pass on the turnover. Another mistake with their half-court game, and that will put the Sooners back in this in a hurry.
Well, you can see they're much more comfortable going against the man-to-man.
Yeah, and Oklahoma starting to warm to the task here. They have not been, as Sooner fans certainly are aware, up in Oklahoma City and Tulsa and up in that part of the country where they've watched them all season. Oklahoma has not been a first-half team. Where they get you is after the intermission. I mean, they have been lethal in the second half.
I think there are 2 reasons for that, Brent. 1, because of the fatigue factor, and 2, because I think Billy Tubbs, because of his great ability to go to that bench and get production, is able to find out who his hot hands are, and then he goes to them in the second half. He has a great confidence in this team all the way up and down the bench.
Martin rises up, knocked out of bounds by Davis. It'll go to Carolina.
And now with both Davis and Martin in the game, he's got some real bulk down in low.
Madden fouled as he comes into the paint. Damon Patterson fouled him, and he commits his 3rd personal foul of the game.
Kevin Madden last year was All-ACC's 2nd team. Of course, this club lost J.R. Reed, went out early into the draft. They'd be pretty potent with him in that lineup.
Terry Evans replacing him. The Oklahoma staff likes to joke about the fact that they have a lot of fouls to give.
They do that. It's a nice feeling. Better than having 6 in the Big East if you've got a team that's almost 12 deep of interchangeable parts.
He's one of their fine youngsters. Evans, his daddy played for John McLeod in Oklahoma.
There you can see the man-to-man giving up the outside shot to Evans. He'll take it if he realizes Fox is going to play off that much.
And Martin gets the bounce.
Some touch.
6 points off the Sooner bench here in the first half. And it's a 3-point lead for North Carolina as Oklahoma back. Great pass to Williams. Could not put it down. And a foul is called against Carolina.
And there's that cross-court pass with Williams coming from the weak side against the zone. But he's got to be able to hang on to this one. That was perfectly thrown by King Rice.
Williams will take a seat. 2 personals out with 4:40 to go in the first half. Billy?
Now, I'm looking for the inside game between Martin and Davis to really be tough. There's Davis. That's a great twosome Billy Tubbs has in there because they do have the bulk and power, and they're beating North Carolina to the spot.
Carolina has led it all the way, but it's very precarious right now. Only a point.
Little 1-3-1 trap now by Oklahoma, causing a lot of problems. With Henry at 6'7", it's very difficult to throw the ball cross court.
Tried to get a touch pass. Madden fortunate because he was right there and he drew the foul, so he'll come to the line and shoot a pair.
Just quick hands on the inside because Chilcutt had the right idea.
Davis commits his first personal of the game.
See, normally when you play a 1-3-1 trap like that, you can't have a big man like Henry out on top because your guards don't have that kind of size. But at 6'7", he becomes a tough target.
Henrik Rodel checking back into the game. And Fox sits down.
North Carolina shooting right up around the 70% mark as a team from the foul line. Madden almost exactly the same as the squad, 69-6.
So Madden ends a string of 6 straight Sooner points. It's a 3-point Tar Heel lead. We're down to 4 minutes left, first half.
Martin and Davis on the blocks causing havoc.
Davis going to work and a chance to complete the three-pointer.
Fred, I don't know if anybody in the country has 2 players on the box as active and as powerful as Davis and Martin can be. And Billy Tubbs went to this lineup about 6 minutes ago, and it's really caused problems for North Carolina. And the thing about them, although they're only about 6'7", even if you've got big people, they get their chest right in there, much like Larry Johnson from UNLV, and it's tough to defend them.
We've got a timeout at 3:51 as Oklahoma and North Carolina are tied at 33, their first tie since the opening tap-off.
My brother said, help me out. Now I've got a backache that could last all day, but I don't take aspirin or Tylenol. Today, it's Advil. See, Advil is different. Just 1 Advil is as effective as 2 regular-strength Tylenol. That's important. And Advil is more than aspirin. Whenever I hurt from some heavy lifting, the first thing I'm picking up is Advil. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
And for colds in this year's flu, try new Co-Advil, advanced formula for cold and sinus relief.
Mazda isn't shouting about its spring sales event. Not with values like the 626. With more room and a better basic warranty than Honda Accord, it's priced $966 less. And now get $1,000 cash back plus air or automatic at no extra charge. With up to $1,810 in value, we don't have to shout. But maybe we want to.
At your local Mazda dealers now.
Your first house, the biggest investment you've ever made. How will you protect it? Call Allstate before you close for answers and comforting prices. Another reason.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
There's another way for new homeowners to save money. The Allstate New House Discount. It could save you up to 15% on Allstate homeowners insurance. Another reason.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Mr. Billy Packer goes right on the center spot. Chris Jackson against Kenny Anderson, a dream matchup. You got the first draft. You want a guard. Who do you think?
I'll tell you what, I go back in time and think what it would be like to have participated against players with that quickness and that much ability. I mean, they just come from a different era.
You folks are going to enjoy Georgia Tech and LSU coming your way a little bit later. Here we're tied at 33. North Carolina with the ball. Billy?
There you can see that very active 1-3-1 half-court trap with Henry out on the top. North Carolina's got to figure out a way to get the ball down on the baseline and then go back inside in a 2-man game.
Foul is called on Carolina after the steal by Oklahoma.
Brent, you can see right here, North Carolina trying to do everything out front. The answer is to get the ball. See Chilcutt coming down in behind that defense to get the ball down on the baseline somehow. It is of no value to be out there on the wings or out on the front.
1 field goal over the last 6 minutes for North Carolina. And the defense of the Sooners, when they switch to the zone, has really turned this game around. And the freshman steps up to the line. Oklahoma's first lead in the game at the 3:28 mark, first half.
And of course, it was Evans that turned the Towson State game around when Henry went out with the technical foul, never to return. Billy put him on the bench, and Evans hit the threes that put Oklahoma in a safe position. Now they move the half-court trap all the way up to three-quarter court. North Carolina just cannot get the ball on the baseline.
An 11-2 run here by the Sooners. All over Rodel.
There's where the ball's got to go, down on the baseline.
Instead, they turn it over, and it'll be a layup. The recovery.
But I really think that now's the time, and Dean Smith doesn't want to call one before the half, but his club has to restructure the way they're attacking this half-court trap. Nope, that's not the answer.
Another turnover. Sooners come back. Evans. Fox rebounding. Out to Rodel. Carolina running some seconds off here with 2:20 to go in the first half. Foul against McCovery of OU, and that's his second. Boy, that defense is out a long ways, Billy.
It really is. They're picking up with their half-court trap. They just moved at 1-3-1 to three-quarter court, and you can see North Carolina trying to do everything about 23 feet away from the basket. They cannot get the ball down on the baseline. Consequently, they can't attack the bottom side of the zone.
Lynch coming in, and Williams sits down for the Tar Heels. North Carolina led this game by 10 points, 24-14, and it has turned around since then. Rodel missing the free throw. Sooners ball.
Clubs like Loyola Marymount, Vegas, Oklahoma, they attacked in bunches. You know, even if you've got a 10-point lead, it means nothing.
Here's Henry. Misfiring, and Martin coming up over the top, committed the personal foul. They're over the limit, so they're going to come up and shoot 1-and-1 here with 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Good weak side block out by Kevin Madden.
Fox has led the way offensively for the Tar Heels, and he did that from three-point land. He has scored 11 points here in the first half. And for Oklahoma, they have been led by Davis and Henry. Henry has scored 10 and Davis 9, so there are top scorers here.
Fred, you talk so much about tradition. Today is another one of those occasions that North Carolina has a chance to move past Kentucky as the all-time winningest team in the history of college basketball. They've tied them a number of times, but they've never gotten over the hump. They're both sitting now on 1,478 wins.
It's an amazing string of 20 wins, 20 straight years for Dean Smith.
Reading their brochure is like reading the brochure for UCLA during the Wooden years. You know,
it's like
just
reading the back pages of the Wall Street Journal.
It is. You can go on and on with stats. And it's not like Billy Dubs doesn't have a pretty...
All along, beautiful pass, and Davis couldn't get it to fall. OU missed an opportunity there, and it goes to the Tar Heels.
Davis and Martin both so quick off their feet.
Fox at the attack end, along with Lynch, and now the Sooners set up that pressure defense here at the midcourt line. They await the Tar Heels. North Carolina with only one field goal in the last 8 minutes and 15 seconds here of the half.
One of the fellows doing a great job in this 1-3-1 trap is Henry. Another fellow, though, doing a good job is Martin. He will not allow the pass to go into the foul line. You can watch how he overplays that area of the court. Makes it so tough to get the ball in there. And if you could, of course, you could make a nice pass, but he won't let you get it. He's there with King Rice right now, and as long as Rice is going to stay that far away, he won't worry. You get down around the foul line and watch him.
Carolina not yet looking for a shot as the shot clock is just coming inside 15 seconds. And now Rice off the penetration goes to Fox for his three, and he bangs it in.
That was a great shot because Fox didn't have the ball in his hands on the catch.
And Rice jumps over and commits the personal on McCovery with a minute to go.
And Ben, what I'm talking about there is that normally to get off your jumper, you've got to make a decent catch, have the ball in your hands properly. And Fox was able to somehow get the ball from the time it first touched his hands in a shooting position in a real hurry there. Great shot.
Billy, we have mentioned the junior college affiliation with Oklahoma. Smokey McCovery coming up to the line. He is out of that Midland JC that has produced so many great Sooner players, including his teammate Skeeter Henry. But Mookie Blaylock and Ricky Grace played guards at Midland. So Billy Tubbs scours the hinterland for those great JC players.
And in the case of Smokey, this gym is a place that he has good memories. He came in here as a high school player. His team won the state championship 40-0. Nice way to walk out as a high school senior.
Game is tied at 38. Minute to go here in the first half.
Dean Smith would like to go ahead and keep this ball and the clock as much as possible in his favor. He wants to score so he could get it back in 45 again, but it's not going to happen.
Rice swinging on the inside. They back it back out. Henry out all over Madden, and now they got him. Almost committed a turnover, a 5-second violation. Got it off just in time, and they wheel it back out to Rice. Now the shot clock is down toward 5. Long pass on the inside. Back to Davis, and he knocks it out of bounds. The Sooners hit it last. I thought perhaps he lost control, but the official right there said that it was touched, and they will put 5 seconds back on the shot clock. They were inside of 5 seconds when the ball was knocked out of bounds, so they put 5 back on it.
See the referee putting the ball down on the floor. North Carolina not coming to take it out. It could have been a violation.
And Henry commits his second personal, and it did not come at a good time for the Sooners.
That was a huge break for North Carolina because Oklahoma had played them great defense, got it all the way down to 3 seconds, and end up now putting North Carolina on the line.
And we say hello to those of you who've been out in Salt Lake watching Ball State and do a great job against Louisville. Here we're coming down to the last 16 seconds of the first half, and that free throw by Pete Chilcutt put North Carolina ahead of the #1 seed in the tournament, Oklahoma. It is now 40-38, a 2-point lead. Carolina was up by 10, and the Sooners came roaring back, sparked by a zone defense.
Billy Tubbs wants one shot here. Look for a surround. That surprise. Davis took that one. Now, that ball had no chance to go in. That's why it was not goaltending.
And the Tar Heels take a 2-point lead into the locker room. Coach Tubbs not happy with the officiating, and this game is being played down in the 80s. It's the Dean Smith's advantage. We'll continue after this message and a word for your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Remember, know when to say when. Advil, advanced medicine for pain. And by the United States Postal Service. We deliver for you.
Yes, sir.
Did you know the cost of 2 business calls from these Chicago art galleries to Minneapolis at 3 p.m. may surprise you?
Great piece. It's one of a kind.
With AT&T Pro Watts, for this 3-minute business call, you can get AT&T quality for prices that are extremely competitive. Even though the other company would like you to believe, they always save you lots of money.
That's my big savings? That's it. Big deal.
Value. Another AT&T advantage.
Mazda won't be shouting about its spring sales event. Why? Just look at this MX-6 GT. Roomier and more powerful than Honda Prelude SI at price $936 less. And now get any MX-6 and get $1,000 cash back, plus air or automatic at no extra charge. With up to $1,810 in value, you don't have to shout. Well, maybe just a little.
At your local Mazda dealers now.
On BASF videotape, your children will never grow old. BASF, tape that lasts forever.
A Michelin tire can give you enough miles to circle the world more than 2 times. That's a lot of trips to Grandma's.
It's a Wild West weekend on on CBS. Saturday, Lee Horsley teams up with the greatest legends of the West in a special 2-hour paradise. Then, on Sunday, James Arness is back.
My name's Dillon, Matt Dillon.
To rescue the daughter he never knew he had in an all-new Gunsmoke. It's the Wild West at its wild best this weekend.
This is CBS.
Hey, have you seen this Motor Trend magazine yet?
You mean the one that says when you're in a fully optioned Hyundai Sonata V6, you'll never realize you're not rich?
Yeah.
And that says Hyundai offers a high-end stereo system that'll fry the transistors out of anything in a Mercedes or BMW.
Uh-huh.
The one that says living within your means has never been so luxurious.
You could have just said yes. Big show-off.
Special factory dealer incentives means great savings now on a new Sonata at your nearest Hyundai dealer.
When storms threaten the Piedmont, you know to turn to News 2 meteorologists Randy Jackson and Ed Matthews with Doppler 2 Storm Track. But you also should know WFMY is the only station in the Piedmont with a staff meteorologist to deliver your forecast throughout your weekend, bringing you critical weather information. So whether you're planning your workday or your weekend, count on News 2's Randy Jackson and Ed Matthews with Doppler 2 Storm Track 7 days a week. Because when it matters in the Piedmont, you'll see it first on News 2.
Jim Nance and Mike Francesa here in New York. 3 games going on right now. A 1 seed trailing, a 4 seed trailing, big time out in the West, and another 1 seed. Michigan State is winning against Santa Barbara, but it's close in that one. Michigan State by 5 at the half, Mike.
25-20, main reason, no one's shooting the ball well. 33% for Michigan State, 34 for UC Santa Barbara. A grinded out game. Eric MacArthur, 2 points in the first half.
All right, the baseball situation, again, stirring up today, and Jim Gray has been following this for the last 3 weeks. Day 31 right now of the lockout. Let's get another update right now live from Jim Gray. Jim, take it away.
Well, Jim, right now the 26 player representatives are meeting with Union Chief Don Fear. The meeting's been going on for about 2.5 hours. They're debating what to do, whether or not to accept the owner's new proposal. Now, Marvin Miller, the former union boss, just left. He addressed the union, and he told me very specifically and point blank, there are no cracks in this union. We're as strong as ever. We saw Fay Vincent walking out to lunch a bit ago, and Fay Vincent said that now the opening day on April 2nd is nothing more than a pipe dream. So the PRC is waiting, as well as the commissioner, to get a response from the players, as we are. And we'll be back with updates throughout the afternoon. Jim?
All right, Jim, while we have a chance, let's update the scores from today as we start the second round. And some finals are in. First of all, in the East, Clemson, a big-time comeback, down 16 at the half to beat LaSalle 79-75. In fact, trailed by 19 in the first half before trimming it to 16 at the intermission. And Lionel Simmons, Mike, what about him today?
Well, his last game, Jim, 28 points, but it wasn't enough.
Well, really, Clemson played like this in the opening round against BYU. Woke up in the second half, in the late going, and there they go inside to Davis. And Simmons fouled out, ending what was a brilliant career, 3,131 points in his career, number 3 all-time. But Clemson now moves on to the Sweet 16, coming back from 16 to move on Thursday at the Meadowlands. Next up for the Tigers will be the 1 seed in the East, UConn, a 20-point win today against California. And Connecticut looked very strong from the start, forcing a lot of turnovers against the Bears. And you talk about a team play, team effort here. Watch this one, Mike.
UConn's strength, one of the big strengths, Jim, is they can pass the basketball, as you see right here. Plus, they forced the turnovers. 28 turnovers, 16 steals. This is a good team.
Rod Sellers hobbling, re-injured. A left knee that was injured in the Big East tournament will be re-examined tomorrow. It is not known at this point whether he will be able to go on Thursday. He is a starter. Connecticut and Clemson will meet Thursday in the Meadowlands in the Sweet 16, the regional semifinals. How do you see that one right now, early, Mike, shaping up between those two?
Which Clemson team are we going to see? The one we saw against BYU in the first half, or the one we saw give a great defensive effort in the second half?
These teams are really kind of similar when you think about it. A lot of people didn't give them credit as the year went on. Clemson won the ACC regular season, UConn, Big East, and here they are.
Again, with UConn, the key, everything predicated off the defense. If they can turn you over, they can win.
All right, UNLV, the 1 seed in the West, advanced on to the Sweet 16 once again. UNLV over Ohio State, 76-65, and the running Rebels will await now the winner of that Ball State-Louisville game. And UNLV was threatened today by Ohio State.
Ohio State didn't want to quit. They didn't quit. They got inside early in the game. UNLV won this game, and the game was closer than the final score indicates. They shot 1 of 15 from 3 and still won the ball game.
Well, we've brought in all of the audiences right now, and Ball State leads Louisville in that other West game 36-23. Now, in women's scores, Providence is on a win streak, 77-75, a victory in that one over Maryland to move on in the women's tournament on the road to Knoxville. North Carolina State, the Lady Wolfpack, with a win over Michigan by 17. And South Carolina was a winner today against Northwestern in women's tournament play. Now, let's, again, set the schedule for you. We'll be going to LSU, Georgia Tech. Most of the country will see that game. That's the second game taking place in Knoxville. The 4-seed Georgia Tech against the 5-seed LSU. And Dayton, the winner over Illinois. Dayton, a 12-seed against Arkansas. And Arkansas is the 4-seed. So that will be a good one going up later on today. And we'll have all of the action as we continue on quadruple header Saturday. Now, as we meander along the road to the Final Four, we find that our far-flung correspondents continue to unearth these small nuggets that fit together inexplicably to form the big picture.
Welcome, college hoop fans, to another edition of the NCAA Newsreel. Not since Sherman marched through Georgia has so much firepower been amassed in Atlanta. These are 3 most wanted men, and they've engineered the high-tech Lethal Weapon 3. There's Kenny Anderson, the Frosh with panache, Deadeye Dennis Scott, and Big Brian Oliver. 3 tough hombres on the court. 3, well, stooges off it.
Drink milk, good for your bones. Pass it on, it does the body good. I mean, it's like almost like we're kind of like brothers, you know? Dennis and I have been together for, what, 3 years now, and then Kenny comes in. It's something that's just happened, you know. I guess maybe spending time together, or the fact that we're all working towards one goal. I don't know, but it's something different. It's something special.
The Big 3, the Final Four, and now the High Five.
No little thing to get it in, to sign off, but...
Here's a story that's ensured to touch your heart. Remember Rick Majerus? A year ago, he coached the Ball State Cardinals to a first-round win over Pittsburgh. It was his last victory as Cardinal coach. Majerus migrated to Utah, but was soon sidelined by open-heart surgery. Thursday, he was back in circulation, keeping pace with Billy Packer as Ball State played its opener. Paris McCurdy hit this buzzer beater and then showed that, yes, there just might be a touch of April in this Paris as he stepped to the line and kissed off Oregon State. For Paris and Majerus, it would not be the final kiss.
They were sweating a lot more than I was. I was just not, I mean, I was just a spectator.
Looks like another Robert Ludlum novel. This plot is more complicated. The hero tracks down the mysterious Bigfoot, a 7'1" freshman who fills a size 17 sneaker. And now your favorite newsreel will reveal Dale's appeal to Shaquille O'Neal.
Coach Brown was doing a clinic in Germany. And at the end of the clinic, you know, I went up to him, I said, Coach Brown, I can't dunk. I'm 6'8", I can't dunk. I need you to give me some stuff, you know, on how to jump.
And as I turned to my bag to get a pen and a piece of paper, I said, how long have you been in the service, soldier?
I laughed and said, I ain't in the Army, man. I'm only 13. 13? Where's your dad? Where's he at? Where's he at?
And that wraps up today's edition of the NCAA Newsreel.
All right, Don Robertson, and we'll see Shaquille against Lethal Weapon 3 coming up later tonight. Again, the 3 games going on right now, 3 blockbusters. Oklahoma trailing North Carolina, the 1 seed, losing to the 8 seed. Rick Fox has hit 4 out of 5 threes, has 14 points for the Tar Heels at the half in Austin. Meanwhile, Salt Lake City, Louisville shooting 27%, down 13 to Ball State at the half. And in Knoxville, Southeast, the 1 seed, Michigan State 5 up on the Gauchos. And we'll get you back to your games, keep you updated on everything as we continue on the road to the Final Four.
You want a deal?
The
Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra is one of America's most popular cars, and it's about to get a lot more popular. We've rolled back the price on the Cutlass Sierra S Sedan by $500. Plus, factory-to-dealer incentives of $750 to $1,250 may be passed on to you. And qualified first-time buyers can get $600 cash back. That can mean up to $2,350 on a new Sierra S. See your Olds dealer now for details and deals.
On a new generation Oldsmobile.
We're back in North Carolina, leading Oklahoma by 2 points, 40-38, to the Tar Heels of the ACC, ahead of the Sooners of the Big Eight. And Billy, we take an overview. Both you and I really agreed. What a treat that was last night to watch Loyola Marymount and Bo Kimball.
Well, I hated to ring your room at 1:45 in the morning.
I was
Brent,
not asleep.
I know you weren't, and you know, I was actually cheering in the room. That was, I thought, one of the great scenes, considering the fact of all the tragedy that struck those kids, and they were so close, traveling all the way across the country to go to that service in Philadelphia, all the way back. I really didn't think they'd have anything left in the second half when they had to play. It was just the opposite.
Hey, how tired do you think Terry Mills and the rest of the Wolverines are going to be?
I guarantee you, know, they just turned it up another notch. It was just great to watch.
And we'll turn it up a notch after this message and a word from your local station.
When Tom died, I just went numb. Then I panicked. I knew we had life insurance. I wrote the checks. With the kids in college, I figured things would be pretty tight. Was I surprised? I had no idea the policies would have gone up so much in value. They even helped me open this place.
There is a difference. Northwestern Mutual Life, ranked first in dividend performance more times than any other company over the last 50 years. The quiet company.
With so much to do and so little time, when it's time to finance or lease your new GM vehicle, let GMAC do it right in a dealership. GMAC. Nobody wants to get you into your new GM car or truck faster, so you'll have time for more important things.
The Italians lust for anything American. So in cars, Tonio Liguori prefers an American one. And of all the ways to a woman's heart, he chooses the American way. Cool, clean, Old Spice. #1 in America. #1 in the world. Only one antiperspirant in the world keeps you so dry with the cool, clean scent of Old Spice.
This is CBS.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can you guess which headache powder has more pain reliever? Is it A, B, or C?
BC.
I'm sorry, but you can only pick one headache powder.
I did. BC has more pain reliever.
You can't combine B and C. You can only choose one.
BC, the headache powder with more pain reliever than Goodies, more than Standback.
Oh, you mean BC?
Do you do this everywhere you go?
Excuse me, sir.
You're invited to join us for an elegant and exciting evening here at the Stouffer Winston Plaza Hotel, April 3rd. It's our annual To Those Who Care banquet and live television broadcast.
We'll celebrate the dedicated work of 10 outstanding volunteers from the Piedmont, and we'll honor the Children's Home Society of North Carolina.
It's an evening of good food, good music, and best of all,
good friends. So make your reservations now and join us April 3rd.
At the Stouffer in Winston-Salem.
CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right. 7-Up and your local 7-Up bottler, 7-Up, the cool spot. And by Gillette and the revolutionary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Brent Musburger with Billy Packer back in Austin. I'm ready to start the second half. The Tar Heels lead it. Let's run down some of the numbers from the first half. Carolina shooting 49.9 for the season. And here today in the first half, when they've been able to get their shot off, they have blazed away at 57%. OU down at 42. Then on the outside at the perimeter, Rick Fox has nailed 4 of 5 from three-point land. And Oklahoma 7 of 21 on the outside. Normally they're better than that. Turnovers. The Tar Heels several times did not get shots off against that 1-3-1 zone. That allowed the Sooners to come rushing back. Fox with 14 points and Skeeter Henry leading the way from Oklahoma as Billy Tubbs' wife Pat and daughter Taylor watch from the stands here with the winner of this game due to move on to next week's regional in Dallas, Texas, and they will play the winner of our second game this afternoon. Still to come, it'll be the upstart Dayton Flyers against the Razorbacks of Arkansas. There's your favorite food, that Mexican cuisine down here in Austin, man. It's real good, even at the ballpark.
I guarantee you, we had a fine meal last night.
I may have to get some of that.
I'll tell you how, you know, what a guy I am as far as ethics. I can't remember the name of the restaurant. I plugged the guy. He served us well.
I'm glad you can't remember it. Trampoline, and it goes over to the Tar Heels.
I don't want to get in any trouble with the networks. I couldn't remember the name. Otherwise, I'd have said it. Brett, you know, you talk about those field goal shooting percentages. North Carolina has taken 10 less shots than Oklahoma, and that's why this game is so tight. And the reason for that, obviously, is how well Oklahoma played that 1-3-1 trap.
Rice, Madden, Williams, Fox, and Chilcutt. Chilcutt had a strong first half, misses the first shot. Madden trying to save it, stepped out of bounds, and it'll go over to the Sooners.
You know, I've never seen a big guy fall on the floor as much as Williams. He is down 2-3 times a half. He's got to get active. He only had 2 points in the first half.
Over and out of bounds on the pass. Tar Heels had a golden opportunity there for a turnover, but the Sooners maintain possession, and McCovery will take the ball out of bounds. Henry is his deep man in this set, and he'll go out to him.
North Carolina trapping a little bit themselves. Nobody on the weak side.
All alone.
Well, certainly Oklahoma ought to know how to face that defense because it's what they've run so well themselves in the first half.
Game is tied at 40. They let Rice have his shot, and he buries the three.
I think about the opening score of the game when Rice drove, got his confidence up, and now he takes the good three.
Knocked away from Patterson. He touched it last. It'll go over to the Tar Heels. And Ball State with that big lead on the Louisville Cardinals.
Isn't it a fine line what moves you on? I thought Oregon State had that game won until the last second. And here Ball State finds a chance to move themselves into a regional. North Carolina really working to get the ball down on the baseline here the second half. Doesn't surprise me. That pushes that zone back a little bit.
Here's Fox.
Good tap.
Chilcutt could not get it to fall. And a personal against Oklahoma.
Chilcutt is a player that has excellent hands on the inside.
That's number 4 on Patterson. He had to sit most of the first half because of the 3 personals.
And he'll bring Martin back in, so this is going to be the biggest front line that Billy Tubbs can put on the floor. But Patterson will sit down and bring Martin in there, Davis, and he also has Jones. And they don't lose any quickness.
Deep to Chilcutt. Fox sends it back. Now they punch into Madden. On the turnaround, he rises up beautifully for the jump shot.
Kevin Madden's favorite shot.
And right away, the Sooners come back at that Tar Heel defense. And North Carolina must continue to retreat as quickly as possible as Jones hits the 3.
Now, Fred, what it did by bringing Martin in the game with Davis, both of those guys will play the box. Jones actually does better when he can move out onto the perimeter. Has a great three-point shot. Now back to man-to-man goes Oklahoma. This is something that North Carolina really took advantage of in the first half.
They go into that passing offense. Motion cuts. Went to the back door frequently in the early going.
Anybody who's ever watched North Carolina.
They turn it over. Breakout. It's Jones again for the Sooners. And they're back now at 45 with 17:26 to go. The game is deadlocked again.
Let's see if they stay in the man-to-man. They do stay in the man-to-man. There's the back door.
Back door to Fox. Tapped in, but it's interference. It was on the rim, and you cannot touch it. Chilcutt knew it, tried to pull back, but could not in time, and the ball up on the rim, so that's a violation. It goes to the Sooners, and a chance now for OU to take the lead.
You can see, good call by the official. The ball definitely on the rim. Oh, what a drive.
Jones, OU leads it.
Brett, this is the toughest lineup that North Carolina will have to stop, because Jones, they just can't match up with Jones.
7 straight points by Jones for the Sooners.
And of course, if you're going to have Williams that far away from the basket, that's not where he wants to be.
Into Madden, and he was fouled.
North Carolina have to figure out a way to get Scott Williams in the offense. With just 2 points, and he hasn't touched it much in scoring position, not at all here in the second half.
So 3 fouls on Martin. Amazing lead by Ball State out of the Mid-American Conference.
Rick Majerus left, but he also left all the players at Ball State. Very experienced team. Let them move on like 7 seniors. Unusual situation for North Carolina. Both Kevin Madden and Scott Williams both lost both their parents while they were in school at North Carolina during that 4-year period of time. Very tragic.
The North Carolina family certainly was very supportive. Both youngsters staying in school and continuing their basketball tradition. That's a foul on Lynch as he jumps out on recovery.
It's not often that Smokey McCovery has somebody as strong as he is in the upper body that can strip him of the ball. It was only because of his strength that he was able to draw the foul. Otherwise, Lynch was off for an easy 2. Talking about stripping the ball in the Dove Hannafeld today. Again, setting that stage for Connecticut.
Foul against Williams. That's his 3rd personal. He continues to struggle with only 1 field goal and 3 fouls. He's 1 of 7 from the field here today.
Jim Calhoun puts the first team in the Sweet 16. Aggressive defense. Davis, great position.
Great block by Lynch. The freshman rose up and swatted it away. Off the foot.
Again, we talked about Lynch being a real warrior for a freshman. Davis had excellent position inside, and he gets it again.
Powered in and missed the shot, and Williams is fouled. Davis, out of frustration, reaching back on him, and that's his 2nd personal of the game.
But one of the things that's so tough with Davis, he's very, very strong, but even better than that, he's got great quickness, and he gets excellent position down inside. Really tough to handle.
16 minutes here in regulation. There's the back door to Williams, and they were fronted well. Good Oklahoma defense on the interior that time. And the Sooners with an opportunity to take the lead. It'll be Jones is short off the iron into Williams' hands.
Notice how well Oklahoma got back that time. They just wouldn't allow the break, even though North Carolina had the initial numbers.
Roto left alone at the perimeter. He hits a 3. That's his first field goal of the game, and it could not come at a more important point. Offensive foul against Henry, and Henry has now picked up number 3.
Well, I said Billy Tubbs doesn't worry about fouls, but he would if he lost both Patterson and Henry this early in the game.
So we've got a timeout, and the Sooners will regroup, and we'll come back with their lineup in a moment.
Those tough Mazda trucks, the most trouble-free in America, backed by the best basic truck warranty, bar none. Get yours now, and you'll also get up to $1,000 cash back from Mazda. The Mazda Spring Sales Event. It's not subtle, but it's catchy.
At your local Mazda dealers now.
During Hurricane Hugo, when speed was critical, the Allstate team helped thousands of policyholders get a fast start on recovery.
All the debris that's piled back here is part of my house. This huge oak tree, it's about 6 feet in diameter, fell across our carport.
And
thank you
hopefully
so
that'll
much.
take care of it for you.
Thank you. Thank you so
ma'am.
much. I
Okay.
appreciate it. Allstate's been so good to me.
Gillette announces a razor that can sense the individual needs of your face. Introducing the extraordinary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and adjust to your face for the best shave a man can get. Closer, smoother, safer. New Gillette Sensor.
Cher, Dennis Quaid, brought together by a murder and a suspect. Suspect, Tuesday at 8:30.
Well, yesterday, Billy Tubbs railed against the media at his news conference for portraying what he felt his team as a group of thugs. He said, "You can criticize me, but not my players." And he was defending especially Skeeter Henry. And with 3 personal fouls, he'll leave his star out on the floor. Oklahoma goes to the trap, and they force the turnover right away. It's 50-47, and North Carolina gets it back. Great play by King Rice, and Madden will bring the ball into the attack zone for the Tar Heels.
The reason King Rice was able to intercept that ball, Oklahoma brought it in so quickly, Rice didn't have a chance to get out of position.
They pound to Chilcutt, up high with the shot, and on the floor is McCovery in a foot race. Dishes now, and Martin hits the layup. It's a 1-point North Carolina lead. We're inside of 15 minutes in regulation.
That was a 2-on-2 break. That time, Rice and Lynch didn't get organized in getting one up top and one behind to handle it very well. North Carolina not getting that back door cut very much because they don't have the angle for the pass.
Turnover, Henry, Sooners lead it.
Nice job by Rice to recognize he doesn't want to get in a run-shoot game. Take his time.
Now if it's against the man, the Tar Heels will go into that passing motion offense. Henry out, even with 3 fouls, aggressively going out after Rodel. Gambling there.
They're giving Chilcutt the shot. He's got to look at that basket a little bit more in this game. He's setting a lot of screens when he steps out, Brent. He looks to pass first, which is typical of North Carolina play.
Shot clock is down to 5, Billy.
Little 4 corners.
Rice was short with that. Sooners run it down. Oklahoma now playing with that look in their eye. Martin left baseline, and here we come.
Dean Smith is going to think about a time right here. He's one guy that loves to save him to the end of the game. But I think you pointed it out, Brent. It looks like Oklahoma ready to make one of those points and bunches moves.
They hit you like a tidal wave when they come, and in the second half, that's been their trademark this season. Just ask Missouri, ask Kansas. Now it's Lynch trying to back in. He could not against Davis. Rice will take it. They give him that perimeter shot. Davis off with the rebound, and Rice aggressively and alertly steals it for the Heels.
Dean Smith wanted them to attack. North Carolina not looking.
Kevin Madden gets inside Jones and hit it. Nice patience by Kevin Madden. Breaking long is Jones. Madden did not want to take the foul, but instead it'll go against Lynch.
Brent, there was a case where Madden was going on Jones. You see this so often in basketball. When a guy throws the long pass and you're the defender, you've got to go to the man that's going to catch the ball first and then try to make the steal. Don't jump up and go for the ball.
3 personals on Lynch.
And when you're playing Oklahoma, you better get back on defense because they're going to go for that long bomb pass.
Well, certainly coming into this game, North Carolina had Oklahoma's attention. Last year, Billy Tubbs Sooners advanced on to the Sweet 16, and they were eliminated by the ACC. They were punched out by Virginia. And here today, they're matched against North Carolina. And the ACC unbeaten in this tournament so far. That has been one of the headline stories.
third-team junior college All-American was Jackie Jones last year.
Missing at the line, but Davis runs it down for the Sooners, and they turn it over. He could not get it out of bounds off a Tar Heel player. Rick Fox glides inside, right baseline. He buries a jump shot. The Sooners look long right after a basket, and the Heels were back defensively.
Davis weak side. That's 4, isn't it, on Williams?
Williams commits his 4th personal foul. With Billy Packer, I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along at the Frank Irwin Center here in Austin, Texas. This is the first of our doubleheader. The winner of this one moves on to Dallas and the regional, where they will play the winner of the second game of the doubleheader, matching the Dayton Flyers against the Razorbacks of Arkansas. We have 12:27 left in regulation in the first half. North Carolina led by as many as 10. Oklahoma battled their way back. Now it's 54-53, a one-point game.
Excellent double team in the corner by Davis. Lynch battling his way, and Dean Smith has to go now to 3
Lynch
freshmen.
and Davis are pushing on the inside, and they're going to call the foul on Lynch. A pushing match in the paint.
Brett, Dean Smith out there now in a critical point in the game, up 1, 3 freshmen on the floor.
One of the things that he has to be concerned with is that the one freshman started to lose his cool down here against Oklahoma. This is one thing you cannot do against this team. Jump by Jones, and Davis blocked again, and here he came.
Tough. Lynch is a tough player.
He is not backing away, is he? As Fox steps inside, couldn't get it to fall. So they're using big Matt Winstrom on the inside defensively. And the foul goes against the Tar Heels. And here we go again.
I think this time it will not be Lynch that gets charged with the foul. Winstrom picks up 1. He can afford that.
Foul is on number 55, Matt Winstrom. Technical on number 50, Tony Martin.
A technical foul has been called against Martin, and it came after the personal. He threw an elbow, and that's why the technical foul has been called on Tony Martin.
King Rice an 80% free throw shooter, but doesn't hit either one.
Tar Heels ball. They get possession on the technical foul rule after the free throws. So we're going to take a break at the 11:59 mark. 54-53.
Mr. Ian McKenzie. I'm Angus McKenzie. Ian's moved down the road.
Today, with service to 175 countries,
Oh, you've been wanting you now, Mr. Mackenzie.
UPS delivers to nearly 4 billion people,
Parcel for McKenzie.
including the extraordinary concentration of Mackenzies along the northeast coast of Scotland.
Mr. Ian Alistair McKenzie.
No trouble finding me, did you, lad?
No trouble at all.
UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
There are 100 reasons to own a Mercedes-Benz. For John and me, it keeps coming down to just 2.
Well, we are back here in Austin, and this was the technical foul, Billy.
Fred, you're going to see Tony Martin on the inside, Lynch back here. Now, after the ball gets inside, watch what happens as Martin is going to throw just a cheap little elbow shot right here, and he popped Lynch in the back.
Carolina with a 1-point lead in the ball. Fox with a beautiful fake gives them a 3-point advantage. What a smooth player he is.
Rick Fox having a great game today. Started off hitting those 3-pointers in the first half. North Carolina now goes to a 2-1-2 zone. They haven't shown this today.
And now we'll see how the Sooners attack a zone here.
Exactly. Watch for Henry.
They turn it over. Fox lead pass for Rice in a foot race. And you don't want to get in a race with Henry. He'll stick up with you. Jones. Out. Fox taps it alertly after it was getting away from him right into Rice's hands.
One of the things Oklahoma has to be careful when they go against a zone, they want to go completely perimeter. I think they need to be thinking about Martin and Davis down inside against this zone some. With that 3-point shot.
Great cut. Rice puts it in. It's a 5-point lead inside of 11 minutes in regulation. An 8 seed giving a 1 seed all at once here today.
Dean Smith
into Davis. And it's 58-55. There is no question that the Texas crowd here in Austin is pulling for North Carolina. It would be extreme. I'll tell you what. It's like George Custer going back into Montana, sending Oklahoma down to Austin and Dallas to play in the regional. And not a whole lot of friends down here for the Sooners. They're going to bring your own.
Left hand.
Beautiful runner that time. Gilbert Davis, the 6'4" sophomore, with his first field goal.
What happened to Oklahoma on Davis's drive? They never anticipated a one-on-one move. Very seldom does North Carolina take somebody one-on-one off the dribble. It normally comes out of the total motion offense. And North Carolina showed the 2-3 zone. Then they went man-to-man. Now they're back to the 2-3. It's a small team they have on the floor without Williams.
Wins at the freshman point. They'll set the table. Knocked away by the Tar Heels. And they forced the turnover without giving the Sooners a shot.
Didn't have the numbers. Smart move by Rice. Rice has been tutored by a pretty good point guard by the name of Phil Ford, who's on the staff at North Carolina. Done a fine job with him.
Chilcutt got the roll. Pete Chilcutt now has scored 12.
Looking to lob over the top of Madden.
Turnaround by Martin. Davis with an offensive board and a putback for the Sooners and a chance to complete a 3-point play.
It's a smart move by Oklahoma. Even though it's in a zone, they're going inside to Davis and Martin. And the twosome really doing the job. That Davis has great timing.
Fox playing with 3 personals for Carolina. Williams with 4. And Lynch with 4. For Oklahoma, Patterson with 4. Henry with 3. And Martin with 3. Looks like the Big Ten will advance on to the Sweet 16 with Michigan State.
Nice rebound by Chilcutt.
Almost stolen by Jones.
So active. Another one of those outstanding players from Detroit. Jones not giving Fox any room now.
Missed the jump shot. Battle for the rebound. And aggressively, the Tar Heels go after it, but alertly, the Sooners come back. Jones missing this 3. Rebounded by the Tar Heels. They lead at 62-57 at the 8:45 mark.
With Patterson back in the game, Billy Tubbs figuring he's getting even some more range with that jumper. Patterson in foul trouble.
Quick turnaround by Fox. Offensive rebound by Lynch.
He's aggressive. He wants to go back in there. 3-on-1.
Chilcutt. It's 64-57. Now 8:20 to go. Timeout, Oklahoma.
In financial matters, as in life, everybody's different. Different needs, different goals. The Principal Financial Group understands. Our financial services are as unique and individual as you are. Personalized solutions that offer each customer an advantage. That's the Principal Edge. It's made us one of America's largest. So for diversified products that fit your financial needs to the letter, look for the Principal Edge.
The purest shape ever given to a high-performance sedan is now even purer. There is now soft glove leather upholstery and rich new wood paneling. For 1990, the designers have made the 300E the most elegant sedan in its class. But let Mercedes-Benz reassure you, it is still engineered like no other car in the world.
Nothing beats it. Nothing beats it. The one and only.
Dweezil Zappa, starring in Normal Life. Moon Zappa, starring in Normal Life, Not Your Normal Comedy. Premieres Wednesday at 8.
Well, welcome back to Austin, Texas. There's our brackets for the Midwest region. Later today, Dayton will play Arkansas. Here, North Carolina, with a chance to upend a #1 seed. They lead at 64-57, 8:14 to go. Billy, when is Oklahoma going to go back to the trapping defense?
Well, I think they're going to have to try that. What their key is, though...
Texas, there's our brackets for the Midwest region. Later today, Dayton will play Arkansas. Here, North Carolina, with a chance to upend a #1 seed. They lead at 64-57, 8:14 to go. Billy, when is Oklahoma going to go back to the trapping defense?
Well, I think they're going to have to try that. What their key is, though, how do they get some shots off offensively?
And welcome those of you who have been watching Michigan State. Here we have a possible upset of a #1 seed. North Carolina with the ball and the lead, 64-57, but a lot of time. 7 minutes and 52 seconds to go. And Oklahoma in the man-to-man. They trailed by as many as 10 in the first half, battled their way back into it. And here in the second half, it has been the Tar Heel discipline that has stood up and taken the lead here.
Brent, I think it's time for Scott Williams to get his hand on the ball offensively. There he is. Cannot score. He's just got 2 for the game.
But the freshman Lynch is playing a spectacular game. Not that time. Could not put it back.
Lynch should be smart on those offensive rebounds now when he's swarmed by Oklahoma to throw the ball back outside. North Carolina wants to use the clock.
Evans missing, and Fox backing out with the rebound, gets it over to King Rice.
Dangerous pass, cross court under the other team's basket.
Had to make it, though, Billy. Yep. He was falling.
You're right.
Had to get rid of the ball.
Now, North Carolina starting to extend their half-court offense out a lot farther. Now, what they're looking for here, of course, are backdoor cuts.
6:45 left. It's 64-57. North Carolina with the lead in the ball. There is Rick Fox.
Had the glide on the shot.
And Williams coming up over the back. And let's hold on and see who. If it's Williams, it's #5, and he's long gone.
Brent, he has not been productive today except for the fact that he's played minutes. That's allowed somebody else to rest. He goes out of there with 2 points. Fouls out.
Fouls out with 6.5 minutes to go and only 1 first-half field goal.
Now, Chilcutt has to come back into the ball game, which makes North Carolina extremely small. And you can expect now that fatigue also becomes a factor because Dean Smith does not have another man with size or experience to go in to fill that position.
He does have a 7-foot freshman, Matt Winstrom, who has played about a minute here today, but certainly he does not have much experience.
I'll give you size, but I won't give you experience on that one. And you don't want freshmen in the game who have not played much all year long with just 6 minutes to go against the #1 team in the country.
Davis with a big afternoon. 15 points, 12 rebounds for the Sooners. 64-59 Carolina, and here comes the press.
They've been able to spell Rice some today, so I think Rice still has his legs.
Carolina tempoing the clock right now with this attack. Rice not even looking for his shot.
When he breaks into the right foul, I know he's got to turn and go to the basket. There it is.
Chilcutt missed an open jumper, so Carolina has missed some opportunities. 6 minutes to go. Now it's McCovery. He bangs in a three.
And this is one of the advantages playing the up-tempo game. Your fellas don't pull up when they take the jumpers. They're feeling nice and relaxed. Big possession for North Carolina.
Sooners looking for that steal. Rice, and it's goaltending. Put it down, a 4-point lead.
I thought it was a good block, Brent. Jones came all the way from the weak side. I thought he caught this one going up. Definitely.
The three. (66-65) after McCovery's hoop. The lead down to 1. The cut by Lynch, and he could not power it down.
Had to leave the floor too early.
Davis's interior pass. Jones coming away. No traveling called.
Fred, that should have been a walk.
And the foul is against Evans.
Is this Lynch, tough, hard-nosed player, and only a freshman? He doesn't mind getting into traffic.
Now Carolina over the limit, so the Sooners will shoot one-on-one the rest of the way, but the Sooners still have a foul to give.
Brett, North Carolina with this much time on the clock still has to attack against this trapping half-court 1-3-1. Not back in the days of the four corners when you can hold for shots.
Rice
is a good example.
Lynch, and Lynch, the freshman, continues to look for his shot.
Perfect example.
3-point lead. McCovery on the move was fouled.
Somewhere, somehow, Billy Tubbs, when he goes to that bench, every guy comes off, plays so positively on the offensive end of the court, not afraid to put up the shot. McCovery being the man of the hour now.
And Fox, having committed his 4th personal, putting McCovery up on the line. So here this afternoon, Carolina out shooting Oklahoma, but they have lost their big man, Scott Williams, on fouls, and Davis with a great game for the Sooners.
And has Midland, Texas been good to Billy Tubbs? McCovery, the man of the hour now. He had Ricky Grace, Mookie Blaylock. Strong. Love those guards.
A 1-point game. 68-67 is the score now. 4:26.
Tubbs stays in the 1-3-1 trap. Chilcutt catches the ball in traffic very well. So does Lynch and Madden, which will help against this particular defense. Dean Smith using Rice down inside.
Lynch is open. Quickly, Jones comes to him with McCovery, and Rice will bring it back out, and there's 10 seconds on the shot clock. And Rice takes it on the inside and goes to Lynch, who's cut off. Jumping back to the freshman on a turnaround. He hooks it in.
Excellent inside-outside passing and using the clock extremely well.
So Lynch keeping the Tar Heels ahead. 6 points, 8 rebounds, 3.5 minutes to go, and a 3-point North Carolina lead.
Straight man. Evans open.
Here's Davis. It's a one-point game again. 17 points for Davis. Bringing the seconds off.
Notice, Brent, how they're trying to get the numbers inside, having 3-on-2. There it is.
There it is. Chilcutt coming up, was fouled and made the field goal.
Perfect execution against the 1-3-1 trap. They get the ball to the center. Dean Smith has done a very subtle move here. He's moved King Rice to the foul line. So he becomes a distributor instead of the big man being the distributor, and he sees extremely well. They get the numbers 3-on-2 going in the other direction. The fellow wasn't in the top 10 over the decade of the 80s. 161 weeks in the 80s. He was in the top ranking 158 of those weeks.
Carolina goes to its bench now. Rodel and Lynch both check in, and there's under 4 minutes in that one as Ball State attempts to hold on against Denny Crum, like Dean Smith, another battle-tested veteran coach. And Chilcutt makes it a three-point play. You've got a timeout. You're going to come back for the last 3 minutes. Carolina with a chance for an upset.
The engineers who created the Grand Prix endowed it with a fully independent suspension, a powerful fuel-injected V6, and made anti-lock brakes available. Its designers blessed it with an aerodynamic profile. And now, to make Grand Prix an even better value, our accountants have added this.
I know jobs don't come with a lifetime guarantee anymore. So I've covered my own future with the right kind of life insurance.
You can, too. Life insurance for living from Northwestern Mutual Life, the quiet company.
Mowing the lawn can be a real chore. Try the first lawnmowers that let you choose any speed you need smoothly. The new hydrostatic transmission mowers at your Honda dealer.
When you've got your power stroke going, you've got confidence that nothing's going to beat you. Introducing Power Stick, the new antiperspirant that gives you 24-hour odor and wetness protection in just one wide stroke. It takes 2 strokes of the leading stick to match Power Stick's 1-stroke protection, 24-hour protection. In just 1 stroke. New Power Stick from Fabergé.
For 3 straight years, Oklahoma has come into the NCAA a #1 seed. Timeout. Carolina. And Dean Smith will put him back in the game along with Fox. The Tar Heels will have 17 seconds to get off a shot when you return.
Because there's a man in Chicago planning his retirement this year.
Because there's a family in Boston who hopes to send their kids to college someday. Because there's a doctor in New York looking forward to the day she'll open her own clinic. Because every investor is different, with dreams all their own. Dean Witter measures success, one investor at a time. Dean Witter, a member of the Sears Financial Network.
For 1990, some Oldsmobiles are new from the ground up. Others are new from the top down. Some have striking new profiles, while others have bold new side views. Some new Oldsmobiles are at home in front of mansions, and others are at home in front of everything else.
This is the new generation.
Imagination, creation, application. At GTE, we know the power of people. At GTE, that power becomes an operator's voice when you need it most. Your company's telecommunications system, a nightlight for your child. One-to-one, person-to-person, GTE to you. It's the power of the human touch. And at GTE, the power is on.
For Billy Packer, I'm Brent Musburger. This is not the only one going down to the wire. Out in Salt Lake, Ball State, and Louisville, a 4-point game with 2:20 left in that one. Here we have 2:02. Both teams shooting 1-1 the rest of the way. And each coach with 3 timeouts remaining. Now, with 17 seconds on the shot clock, they're down to 10. And Lynch, who checked back in, now 7 on the shot against the trap off of Madden. He was out of bounds. Oklahoma's ball.
Brent, if it goes down low and you get a double team like that, you either have to put it up immediately or fire it right back out, as Madden did for Lynch the last time. No passing angle on that double team.
And a foul against Carolina. Lynch overplaying Davis down at the baseline, and they will send Davis up to the free throw line to shoot 1-and-1 with 1.5 minutes to go. And Lynch joins Williams on the foul on the bench as he has fouled out.
Fouled out, played a great basketball game. Scott Williams, who didn't get much done today, and if it had not been for Lynch, North Carolina had been long gone in this game. Now Dean Smith finds himself with no experience of any size to come in with off the bench. He's probably going to have to go with the lineup you see for the last minute and 36, which means that Oklahoma can go down inside to the likes of Davis.
Chilcutt at 6'9" would be his size on the inside. He's being joined by Madden and Davis and Rice and Fox at 6'7". So Fox would be the man they'd want to have shooting the ball the rest of the way. He is 4 of 5 at the free throw line. And his 18th point sends us back into a tie.
Davis has been to the line over 200 times this year. Shoots right at 78%.
And the Sooners lead it.
Evans trying to keep the ball again away from Rice so Rice can't handle. Good move by Billy Touch.
Henry out on Fox. Chilcutt. Rice sees that there's 15 left on the shot.
And they've got to go to the 4 corners. Rice going one-on-one out front.
Under 10 on the shot. Down to 5. Fox is through.
Puts Carolina out by 2. That's not a 4 corners. They want Davis and Chilcutt.
They punch into Davis. He's got it. We're tied. And he'll come up to the free throw line with 39 seconds to go.
There's the pass over to Rick Fox, who has been sensational with a quick catch and jump shot from the perimeter. But the man who's been hard to handle on the other end of the floor has been Davis with those great spin moves, power moves inside.
21 points for Davis. Make it 22, and OU leads it.
Now it eats these things, all right? It opens its mouth, and it goes.
Peter, no TV till you've had your breakfast.
Now it eats these things, all right? Peter!
Well, don't worry, Mr. Bowen, you're covered.
Thank you.
It's automatic when you use the American Express card.
Lost, stolen, or damaged, a way to protect the things you buy.
The BMW 325i convertible, the ultimate tanning machine.
Why don't you love me like you used to do? Commitment. What does she call the last 11 months? My hair still curly and my eyes still blue. That's the way she wants it. Hey, if she can go her way, we'll go our way. You know what I mean?
One day it could all come down to a few inches. For those few inches, it's good to know you have Goodyear tires.
You think someone's trying to tell us something up there?
That's why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
She gets another shot.
It's been a roller coaster ride for the Tubbs family here this afternoon. But her husband and the Sooners now find themselves up by a point with 39 seconds to go. And here comes that full court Oklahoma pressure against the Tar Heels.
Obviously, Brent, the key to get it in is shot clock off. North Carolina has the arrow in their favor. Both teams in 1-1. And Oklahoma in straight man-to-man.
Fox wants it punched into him. Could not get the pass. They press the ball. Rice, and the coverage fouled him.
As Dean Smith was trying to call timeout, he could not get the timeout call, and the foul was committed right in front of him. He smiles when he couldn't get any of his players to get the timeout signal.
And another one going down to the final agonizing seconds out in Seattle between Louisville and Ball State.
Rice had a chance on those technical fouls to shoot two, missed both. So he's 0 for 2 from the line, both on those technical fouls.
Timeout has been called. Let's check in with Jim Nance.
All right, Brent, the action is intense everywhere. Louisville and Ball State. Ball State had a 17-point lead in this ball game. But right now there is a timeout, 29 seconds to go in that one in Salt Lake City. Louisville has the basketball and trails by 2, 62-60. Again, they've trimmed a 17-point deficit down to 2. 29 seconds left, a timeout on the floor. We'll keep you posted on that. Meanwhile, the 1 seed in the Southeast, Michigan State leading by 10 over Cal Santa Barbara. That one with 1 minute left in the game in Knoxville. Meantime, right now, let's get the finish in Austin. Back to Brent and Billy.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. And the situation here in Austin, Texas, King Rice will move up to the free throw line, shooting 1 and 1 for the Tar Heels. Oklahoma with a 1-point lead in this game.
Well, Brent, as we pointed out, King Rice been to the line one time today, and that was on the technical foul. It's called down the other end on Martin. He missed both of those. And, of course, Billy Tubbs wanting to take as much time as possible here to make Rice think about it. We talk about a young man that's been maligned throughout the course of this year and took a lot of the abuse. The fact that Carolina might not have reached the status that is they're accustomed to. So he has a chance really to redeem himself here.
What a moment for the young man out of Binghamton, New York. He's a junior. He was a sensational high school quarterback, and now with the band almost directly behind him, he'll come up with the 2 biggest free throws of his career. It'll only be 2 if he hits the front edge.
Tied.
The key thing that Dean has reminded the Tar Heels about is they got 10 seconds. They're going to have to play defense after this, regardless of what happens here.
Plenty of time for Oklahoma.
Score tied. North Carolina ball. 8 seconds left in regulation.
And Dean Smith will take a timeout. And Brent, this is why he and most top coaches like to save those timeouts.
And let's check in again with Jim Nance. Jim?
The update on Salt Lake. Let's go there right now. Felton Spencer just missed a chance to tie it. It went out of bounds. Ball State has it. We're inside of 10 seconds to go in that one. Let's go to Tim Brandt and Lynn Elmore with the update.
Chandler Thompson gets...
I want to welcome those of you who've been watching Oklahoma and North Carolina here at the John Huntsman Center in Salt Lake City, second round of the West Region. And we have an upset in the making. Ball State, the number 12 seed, against Louisville, the number 4 seed. Ball State led by as many as 17 with just 13 minutes left in the ball game. Louisville has put on a charge, come back, pulled within 2. Now with 7 seconds remaining, the biggest rebound perhaps of the game. Chandler Thompson pulled it down for Ball State. 7 seconds remain, and he was fouled. Tim Brandt and Len Elmore.
All right, Tim Brandt, hold on. Let's get back to Austin now. Final 8 seconds between Carolina and the 1 seed Oklahoma. All tied 77. 8 seconds to go. Tar Heels with the basketball. Brent and Billy, take it away.
They don't know where to turn next, do they, Billy?
Well, Chandler Thompson, remember Rick Majerus telling me last year during the NCAA tournament when his team was playing so well, he said, Billy, I've got a guy holding out. This is before he went to Utah by the name of Chandler Thompson. He's the best player I ever recruited, including the guys at Marquette.
All right, our stage here in Austin. 8 seconds left in regulation. North Carolina and Oklahoma tied. The Tar Heels with the ball. Oklahoma, the number 1 seed, and Carolina came in an 8 seed. Rick Fox has been the big weapon with 21 points for Carolina, and Patterson will take him on the inbounds pass. They'll come through Davis, and he'll come to Fox. Fox comes down the baseline and hits it. Carolina wins it. Carolina upsets OU.
Now let's take it quickly now to Salt Lake City. Final seconds. Louisville trying to tie or win it.
Louisville lived with what they'd done so well all year, and that's instead of calling a timeout, run the open floor. They get a good shot at the basket, but this was not their day.
Of all people to get the last shot, Sullivan was 1 for 8 today. Dick Hunsaker in his first year.
He doesn't look like he believes it.
Ball State now goes to 26-6. It'll be Ball State and UNLV Friday night in Oakland. So for Len Elmore, I'm Tim Brandt saying so long from Salt Lake City. Once again, the final score, 62-60, Ball State. The Chevrolet players of the game, Chandler Thompson for Ball State and Jerome Harmon from Louisville. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the 1990 NCAA Basketball Championship.
All right, Tim Brandt and folks, can you believe it? Size them up. 2 glass slippers coming just seconds apart. A 1 seed ousted in the Midwest. Oklahoma is out of here, and the 4 seed in the West, Louisville, is eliminated, Mike.
When you look at it, Jim, Rick Fox, a fantastic game, and Dean Smith, an 8 seed for the first time. Going back to 1979, they had never been lower than a 3 seed. Kind of a dangerous 8 seed.
What's this now? 10 straight years, North Carolina into the Sweet 16. The ACC still unscathed in this tournament. 7-0. All 5 teams from the ACC still alive. 2 have advanced on to the Sweet 16 today. Clemson and North Carolina. Meanwhile, the Big 8, both Missouri, Kansas State, those 2 were ousted first round. Now another one today, Oklahoma, leaving only Kansas from this conference that was so powerful all season long.
Those 3 teams at the top all year. Now, of course, as you said, Kansas, the only team left out of the Big 8, and Louisville goes down also.
All right, Mike. So UNLV will face Ball State on Friday in Oakland in the West, and North Carolina will await the winner of the Dayton-Arkansas game. Michigan State just the final seconds in that one, and it's an 11-point lead. As the 1 seed there is going to move on, the Spartans will move on to the Sweet 16. Meanwhile, again, it's the Tar Heels moving on. 79-77, Rick Fox, the hero. Let's go back to Austin and back to Brent and Billy.
Just a marvelous sequence of events unfolded here in Austin, Texas, with North Carolina, an 8 seed, dumping the #1 ranked team in the country and the #1 seed. After a Dean Smith timeout, it was Fox cutting over to the right and getting daylight. He then, after a brief fake, came down the baseline and hit the layup. 23 points, but none bigger than that winning field goal there. And Dean Smith will now go to the final 16 for the 10th straight time. An unbelievable job here this afternoon in Austin by the Tar Heels. Their big men had fouled out of the game. Williams and Lynch were gone, and somehow the Tar Heels prevailed, and Billy Packers with Dean Smith. Billy?
Coach, that has to be one of the favorite games for this ball club that you've ever had in your coaching career.
It really was special. I was so sorry for Scott Williams, who struggled. He was trying so hard, and I told him, let's win this so Scott will have a chance to come back. And what a great group. I told you I was happy with them all year, but I begged them in half, hey, do one thing for me. And I brought on my knee and said, win.
Not often you ask for that. This win means a lot of things. Number one, for the first time in history of basketball, North Carolina passed Kentucky in the all-time winning. It puts you into the final 16 for 10 straight years, which is a feat that may never be duplicated again. And when I look at all the subtle things that both you and Billy did today, you know, he starts out in the man, he goes to zone, causes you problems.
We brought the old 4 corners out.
That's right. And then the last play of the game, I talked to Rick Fox earlier. He said that it was set up for him, but of course you have other options as well. What was going through your mind on it to set up that last 8 seconds?
Well, I thought that we would get a good shot. I told him if it doesn't go as planned, no worry. You know, we can get it into Kevin or Pete. King was to come from out of bounds and set that screen, and Hubert get in the ball. And I had to remind him right before he went out. I said, Rick, we don't need 3. We only need 1. So he took it to the basket.
On their 1-3-1 trap, when you move King Rice into the foul line so he could... I thought it was a subtle move that really changed things around, because in the first half, in the 1-3-1, you had a lot of problems.
We sure did. That's when we went to 4 corners. That's what we were playing there. King was the middle of the 4 corners.
Going back to the 60s.
Yeah. Or Phil Ford, 70s.
Well, we're going to take it back to Brent. Congratulations. A tremendous win for your ball club.
We're very happy for them.
Brent?
All right.
right, Billy, thank you. And so North Carolina will move on to Dallas, where they will take on the winner of our next game here, Dayton and Arkansas. Now, our Chevrolet players of this game, no question about North Carolina. Rick Fox, 23 points, including the winning basket. And for Oklahoma, William Davis played a great game here today, 22 points and 14 rebounds. For Billy Packer, I'm Brent Musburger, and right now let's send you to New York and Jim Nance. Jim?
All right, well, thank you, Brent. What a great stretch of basketball today in the tournament. Just a great stretch of basketball, and again, North Carolina moves on. Ball State a winner. And Mike, with the 1 seed ousted now, what does this mean for the Midwest?
Well, you look at Arkansas on the other side of that bracket, waiting to play Dayton. That game coming up in a couple of minutes. And on the bottom side, the Hoyas of Georgetown are still there.
All right, the difference in the UCSB game was only 4, 62-58. Michigan State won it. Some technical free throws down the stretch and a late bucket by the Gauchos made the difference, only 4, but the Spartans the 1 seed in the Sweet 16. Right now, let's get the report from Salt Lake City, where again, the Cardinals over the Cardinals. Ball State over Louisville, 2 schools just 150 miles apart, playing in Salt Lake City. Calling the action out there today, Tim Brandt and Len Elmore. And let's go out and hear from them right now. Timmy?
Another upset here in the West. Ball State, the number 12 seed, upsets Louisville 62-60. Here's the last desperation shot by Everett Sullivan, and it was over. Ball State wins it, and we're joined now by 2 of the stars, and of course the coach. There he is, Dick Hunsaker, and what a job he did his first year at Ball State. Comes back here where he played at Weber State, coached at Weber State. Your reaction?
You know, just what a dream, what a thrill to come back. We had the MAC tournament in Cobo Hall in Detroit, where a lot of our kids are from, and they had a great homecoming, and what a time to come back and play in front of your friends and family.
Dick, you had a 17-point lead with 13 minutes to go. Louisville made a tremendous charge. What did you tell your team during those timeouts?
Well, during those timeouts where they were making the runs at us, you know, we said, you know, if we were, you know, before the game with 10 to go, if we were up by 10 at that time, hey, we'd be great. You know, we'd be happy, and the kids really picked their heads up. And then we took the timeout about 2, and went over the same type thing. We got 2 to go, we're up by 4. You know, that's right where you want to be. What are we talking, you know, down? This is Louisville. This is Final 16 time. And the kids really maintained their poise, their composure through that time, played through it, and ultimately our defense, when it was only fitting that they were to miss the last second shot, because the defense is what kept us here all year.
Lenny's with 2 of the stars. Len?
Okay, on my right is Paris McCarty. And Paris, you heard Coach talk about poise and confidence. When Louisville made its run, did you feel that any of those things were shaken?
Not at all. With our guys, I mean, we all have poise, and we don't back down to anyone. And during those timeouts, Coach was just stressing poise throughout, you know, duration until we went back on the floor. So I knew we would come out and just keep our poise and play good ball.
On my left-hand side is Chandler Thompson. And Chandler, coming down the stretch there, Louisville made its run. There's some good defensive plays, but what was going through your mind as the last play developed?
Well, we're just trying to stop them from scoring and get the rebound and take the ball and hold on to it tight and get a foul, and that's one of the things we've done.
Do you think you're a Cinderella team?
You can say that.
All right, back to you, Tim.
All right, Lenny, congratulations, guys. Take a look at the brackets then in the West, because UNLV moved on earlier today with a win over Ohio State. Ball State beats Louisville. It'll be UNLV and Ball State in Oakland Friday night. Once again, 62-60 the final. Let's go back to New York.
All right, Tim. We'll say it. They're definitely a Cinderella, a 12 seed making it to the Sweet 16. The last 12 seed to make it that far, Wyoming, in 1987. Now, we'll be topping off the day with another set of games. Minnie will get the LSU-Georgia Tech game. The winner of that one will face Michigan State. And then Dayton, Arkansas will go to other parts of the country. Of course, we'll be updating both games. But right now, we're going to take a break, come back, put the day in perspective as we continue on the road to the Final Four after this word from your local station.
Gillette announces a razor that can sense the individual needs of your face. Introducing the extraordinary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and adjust to your face for the best shave a man can get. Closer, smoother, safer. New Gillette Sensor.
Look out tomorrow. Anti-lock braking systems. All-wheel drive. Fuel-injected multi-valve engines. dent-resistant composite body panels, a turbocharged intercooled V6 engine. Only one car company in the world can put all this technology in one showroom. Pontiac, of course.
Every evening, we pack 700,000 passengers onto our planes. No drinks are served, no meals are prepared. Yet our customers love our service, like our UPS Next Day Air letter. Guaranteed overnight delivery to any address coast to coast. And at just $9, far less than other companies charge, no one seems to mind that there's no in-flight movie.
One airline works harder than any other to make sure that a good landing not only means getting you there on time, but landing your bag in your hand on time as well. United. Come fly the friendly skies.
After City, Murphy's got a scoop.
The safe sex piece.
But they want her to keep it under wraps.
You two can go off and have a John Wayne Film Festival.
A new Murphy Brown.